Do your own research and due diligence before investing in any company. The information I provide is in no way or manner a professional suggestion to purchase shares in any publicly traded company. I am not licensed to provide financial advice, and this should be considered entertainment. These stock profiles are intended to be trading ideas, a starting point for research. Any individual who chooses to invest in any securities should do so with caution. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. You may lose some or all the money that is invested. Always research your own investments and consider consulting with a registered investment advisor or a licensed stockbroker before investing. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, that's the disclaimer. I don't want to hear anything else about it. It's your boy Sal, man. Episode number 85 now. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me in the house. We got people coming into the chat room here slowly but surely. Thank you for joining us. New people, old people, thank you for joining us. Who's in there? Tristan, Sinclair, Gerardo, Dave Thomas. What's going on, everybody? People slowly coming in. Really hoping everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving break. And, ate good. 1970L, what's going on? Nikhil, what's going on? I think I'm shocking a little bit of people with the little bit of an early start. A lot of news right now. Donald Trump, Fidel Castro, Mitt Romney. I mean, we got a lot of things to go on, and also penny stocks. All right. So thank you for joining me here on episode number 85. We're going to talk about my favorite thing in the whole world, penny stock trading, and why you can make really good money. All right. Whether it be full-time or part-time or on the side, trading penny stocks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Today. And obviously, if you were watching the markets, man, the biggest gainer today was PZRX. PZRX was the biggest gainer today on the market. FDA approval. What's going on, Bruce Cole? Corrali Montez, what's good? Clay Vaughn, what's going on, man? Abdullah Arita. Yes, sir. Welcome everybody to the chat room. And look, an FDA approval, and this was an orphan drug approval, so an orphan drug designation. Basically what that means is that this is a drug that is specifically going to treat individuals who are currently diagnosed with this drug. Less than 100,000 people are being affected at this drug right now. So it's called an orphan drug designation, but still sent the stock soaring. PZRX. In fact, let me put that on the chart for you guys. Sent the stock soaring. PZRX sent the stock soaring higher today. $2.82, 149 cents. This is the one-day chart. So this was a moneymaker for you basically anytime before 3 o'clock. It was a moneymaker for you, because even if you got in high, in noon, and it did dip, if you stayed in, it still ended up being a pretty green day for you. All right, this is an interesting dip here. I'm not sure what that was about. Because it's typically supposed to be going the other way, and this would be kind of like a stair step pattern that it was trying to create there for a second. That's what it looked like it was trying to do, but obviously not everybody participated. But regardless, nice day for that stock. This stock should be green again tomorrow. This should be green today, again tomorrow. We've already talked about the measurement of the value of news in terms of how valuable news is to the marketplace, and FDA approvals are up there to number 2. Number 2, FDA approvals. Obviously, as I've said here in the past, government contracts Government contracts, number 1. Mergers, acquisitions, number 2. Number 3, FDA approvals. Number 4 could be Form 4, CEOs, vice presidents buying large shares of stock. And number 5 tend to be 8Ks, where they're basically signaling maybe they're looking to sell or looking to acquire a business. All right. But government contracts, number 2, FDA approvals. Government contracts, number 1, FDA approvals, number 2. So this should be another stock that's in the green tomorrow. Should be in the green tomorrow. What's going on, Justin Matthews? Cole Me, hello. Mace, Taylor Stewart, BDCA. We're going to talk about that. What's going on, everybody? Dayon Jackson, what's good, man? Yeah, MJNA, that was my morning winner this morning. MJNA, SRNA, as well as Kush Bottles, KSHB, which I believe should be retesting $3. Another marijuana play that I like a lot. And we're going to introduce some other new stocks today to you guys in the chat room today, too, including a nice VR play, virtual reality play. This is going to be under promotion in the next coming maybe about a week and a half or so. So they're trying to get the price down, get it more liquid and tight for people. But I'm going to introduce that company to you guys a little later. I think it's going to be a really interesting pump. We'll see how it goes. All right, we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. And in fact, there's another pump going on tomorrow that I want to let you guys know on real quick. Again, by these guys that run Insider Financial. And Insider Financial, they ran a really great pump last week, if you missed out on. But their pump for tomorrow is GRSU. And I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that before I go into these other plays. But GRSU is a marijuana stock. It's actually a marijuana company that's got, I guess, a marijuana drink. And, the whole marijuana bonanza has kind of skipped this company. And the idea behind this promo is that, we should see significant buying in this stock because unlike many other plays, we've just missed it. We've just missed GRSU. So GRSU under pump tomorrow. This is actually a pretty aggressive pump. Let me see here. They sent me the email. How much do they get paid for that? And I actually like these guys. They're actually pretty good. Let me see. What do they get paid for that? Okay, $6,000. They got paid $6,000 for it, so it shouldn't be too bad because I like their list. They've got a really strong list. They've got a really strong list of people who love to play penny stocks, and I think the stock will go up tomorrow. GRSU. So we'll see what happens to the stock tomorrow. GRSU. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to go too deep into it, but we got to talk about the situation with Mitt Romney and Donald Trump. And I got to tell you this, I hope he picks Mitt Romney because it certifies everything that I thought about Donald Trump. He doesn't care about, he's not a nationalist. He's not a Eurocentrist. He's anything but that. He's all about money, capital, business, and rich, wealthy men stick together. All right. You can put their politics, side by side all you want. At the end of the day, Mitt Romney and Donald Trump are two incredibly wealthy men, and they know what they want for their businesses and for themselves, and they're going to make it happen. They've got something planned out here, folks, and they're going to work with each other to make it happen. And I feel sorry for the people who honestly believed. All right. And I saw this happening when you just look at Trump's businesses. He doesn't care about the whole forgotten man and woman bull crap. It's about business. It's about money. So shout out to Donald Trump and whatnot. You can say what you want about him. I voted for him because I know he's not about that bullshit that a lot of people are getting themselves scared over. He's not about that. At the end of the day, yes, he's still a 70-year-old man. He's not going to say things the way you may want him to say. He's not going to come out and be Dr. King. But at the end of the day, it's about getting money. He's about getting money. It's not about the forgotten man and bullshit, whatever he's talking about. He's about this getting his paper. And Donald Trump is getting to that money, and he's going to help the economy overall. But, that's going to come with, unfortunately disappointing a lot of people who thought that he was a nationalist. He's not a nationalist whatsoever. This was a man that was a Democrat for a long time before he decided to run as a Republican. All right. So moving on, number 2 on the list. Let me see if you guys got some stocks before I move on with my list. AMMJ. AMMJ, that's the other weed play. And AMMJ, you know, is kind of disappointing with that one, you know, but this stock runs. This stock runs though. I wouldn't put against AMMJ, and I wouldn't count them out. And you know, it was green last, I want to say it was green on Friday on the half a day, if I'm right, or unless it ended closed. It might have been a red day for the stock as well on Friday. But I do know for the most part it had a good beginning of the week last week. So a slight pullback is probably necessary. But AMMJ, another good play. You know. Oh yes, Iron Hand, definitely doing short pumps. I mean, GRSU is probably a 1-day pump. It's a 1-day pump. I'm going to be looking to play that tomorrow because I do like these guys over at Insider Financial because they do have a pretty good list of people who love to buy penny stocks. All right. Yes, indeed. They do love penny stocks over there. Yes, indeed. Trading View's 50% off. Yeah, man. Take that. Take advantage of that Trading View opportunity. Yeah, we talked about PZRX, you know, to start off the show. It's going to be another runner tomorrow. I don't expect it to be the biggest gainer. No, I'm not expecting to put up what it did today. Again, let's look at the chart for people who are coming in late. PZRX, you know, look, 149%. And we see this now at least 2-3 times a week on the show. 2-3 times a week we see at least a stock that's up, you know, 60 plus. And you guys can catch these at the beginning. You can very well catch these at the beginning. It's very, very possible. Now, I didn't play this stock. I didn't play this stock today, to my actual regret. I didn't play this stock, and you know, but I would have definitely loved to. You know, huge move. What I did play was OGXI today. OGXI, another stock that was on the biggest gainer list today. OGXI was basically, you know, a momentum play. I mean, this is just basically what it was. Didn't necessarily have any strong news out. It just simply was, you know, on pace to pass, you know, typical volume for the day, and I just tracked it as long as it kept going here. Let me look at the 1-day chart. And again, volume not incredible for the stock, but for the fact of the matter is it was, you know, continually building to a point where it got past this typical average volume, 30-day, 10-day, and whatnot, and daily average. You know, you had to be a part of it, set my support and resistance lines, and it kept crushing it throughout the day. So I kept adding to the position. I don't expect the stock to run tomorrow because there was no catalyst. So I did close out my position, although it ended up higher into some buying. But OGXI, another stock that was up there on the biggest gainer list today. I think it was on the top 20. It wasn't one of the top 5, but I think it's definitely on the top 20 for the day. OGXI definitely was up there today. All right. Number 2 on the list that, again, I'm going to put on the list for tomorrow because we're, you know, is going to be interesting to watch was SYRX. Now, SYRX, this is the daily chart here. A little bit harder to watch. This was a stock that, you know, barely gets any volume whatsoever. 76,000 shares traded daily, 1.8 million shares traded today. You know, this was a stock that was really huge last year. If you guys remember, well, I didn't have the show last year, but if you guys were trading last year, SYRX was the company, and it's crazy because this is a small company. This is like an $8 million company based on today's prices, right? On today's prices. But this was a company that, you know, last year had came out and said that they had won an $80 million contract in Qatar to build a smart city. All right. So this was supposedly the king of Qatar had said they wanted to build this city that was completely, you know, IoTs out. I mean, everything from the bathrooms to the road would be connected to the internet somehow. Traffic would be able to be streamlined and whatever. And SYRX had won the contract to, put it all together, to basically put it all together. And for whatever reason, it fell through. It completely collapsed. And as you can see from the chart, the stock has been pretty much, kaput since last year. All right. Since last year, it was pretty much dead. As you can see, this is, I believe it came down 2015. Yeah, this is, I think, 2015 September is when that news hit. And when it fell through, the stock pretty much collapsed. So sure enough, they made it on the biggest gainer list today because they bought a Virginia company called Integrio for about $1.4 million. Again, this is ticker SYRX. SYRX. And they came out and said basically they're buying this company because they do have this company it started in 1986, another IT company. It is privately owned, but they have access to some very profitable federal contracts. All right. And they have had access to them in the past. So obviously they have some kind of technology in here. Whether or not this will be a multiple day run, I can't tell you, but it's dirt cheap. Volume is pretty high. Mergers, I love mergers because it follows right into my, my Elma Suds philosophy. And if you don't know what my Elma Suds philosophy is, just go watch my video on Elma Suds. But I love mergers. I'm a big fan of companies that merge, and because they do have a tendency to run. This stock up 72% today, 13 cents up there, 72% to 31 cents a share. Whether or not this news continues tomorrow, we'll see, because I do expect some profit taking. That's a huge number, but PRZM should run. SYRX, I don't know. We'll see about it tomorrow. But if we end up in the morning green after 10:30, we pretty good should be adding up to this one. So it all comes to find out what happens after the first 30 minutes after the bell. What happens after that? Okay. We should see. PDLI. PDLI, Mr. Arita, you're going to have to update me here on what's going on with this stock. I mean, this was quite an ugly day for the stock. I mean, look, 5% is not, it's not a bad, it's not, horrible. It's not horrible. When you look at the chart spread out for a month, what is it? Okay, so it's kind of breaking down here. So whether it can get back to the threes looks very unlikely. I'm just kind of being honest with you. As I look through the chart here, we're seeing some strong selling in volume there, being verified by the chart. And the volume is coming in, and it's coming in really heavy on selling. All right. And at the end of the day, look, when you issue convertible notes, and that's what this company is doing, as I can look through the news, the company is issuing, shares for pennies on the dollar. Man, investors don't like that. That's called dilution. All right. You're giving people, wealthy investors, opportunities to get in on the company for pennies on the dollar, while your current investors, get shitted on, and it's not fun. But at the end of the day, healthcare companies have very limited opportunities to raise money. All right. They have very limited ways to raise money, especially when you're, a PDLI, which from what I know hasn't, let me see here. Do they even have a drug right now that they're making? I actually don't see a drug. I don't see any recent news where they've actually put out anything on an update on a drug that they're working on whatnot. I'm sure they're working on something, but I don't see any recent news in regards to any kind of drugs that may be under construction here. All right, PDLI, $420 million market cap. So look, there's something going on there. But whatever it is, it's not getting done right. It's not getting done right. All right. AMD, man. What can you say about AMD? I mean, this stock just keeps going. It keeps going higher and higher and higher. Now, everybody's been saying a pullback is necessary, but I don't believe that. I honestly don't believe that. Look, we've got this stock has got a lot of catalysts, and we've got a situation now where we're moving into remote operated planes, remote operated cars and trucks on the road. It should be trucking first, and it will be trucking first. So if you're a truck driver, God help you, because they are looking to get trucks to a point where they can operate on their own. And I do believe they will operate on their own within the next 20 years. Within the next 20 years, we will see trucks on the road without truck drivers. All right. Just like whalers and people who are in the business of whale oil, all right, got their jobs deleted by technology. So will truck drivers. All right. Truck drivers are going to be the first people when we talk about automotive transportation to lose their jobs to technology. And AMD is going to be a participant in that. We haven't even gotten started in the whole Internet of Things idea, and that's another catalyst that AMD is going to be approved of. Okay, that's going to be right there for AMD. Now, we can talk Trump, and I know I keep blowing this guy up, but you guys don't understand, what's going on right now. I mean, this guy's really exploding and putting a lot of momentum into, these sectors: technology, banking, steel, concrete. I mean, industrials. I mean, that's all under industrials, but it's been an insane boom that's continually running. Now, people are calling this a balloon, and that could pop, but for all intents and purposes, he's not even in office yet. So imagine when he actually starts making these rules. But anyway, AMD is going to continue to run higher. I don't expect a breakdown, but the stock is showing a possible breakdown could be occurring. All right. It is showing a possible breakdown could be occurring because we're seeing lower highs in the stock. But at the end of the day, still up today, 6 cents. I know you'll take it. You'll still take 6 cents, but I'll be very careful watching AMD as we move forward. I still think 9 is a possibility in AMD. I'd love to see a strong green day tomorrow. Not necessarily any news, but simply on the idea that people believe that this momentum push is higher, that this is higher. All right. And again, in industrial spending, I didn't even get into that, but industrial spending and infrastructure spending, rather, should be going higher, much higher under Donald Trump, supposedly. And I think it will. I honestly think it will. When I look at the people he's talking to, bringing in the business, bringing into the White House, a few questionable characters, but for the most part, the people who are going to be in control of the planning and the money, I like who he's bringing in. All right? Like who he's bringing in. Cheap version of AMD, that'd actually be a good question, Geraldo. That's actually a good question. I want that. That's actually something we can look into. A version of AMD that we can play into for the future. I think you want to look at, let me see, where's QTM at? Off the top of my head, I'm going off the top of my head. QTM, Quantum Corp. This is another, I want to say it's a semiconductor play too as well. QTM. I want to look a little bit more into this though. Maybe I'm not right on that. But I would look to answer that question. In fact, I'm going to write that down because that's actually an excellent question. If we can have some kind of real small cap, I mean, obviously AMD's technically, if you look at the price, it's a small cap. Definitely not a small cap by cap, but it is dirt cheap right now. But let's look into that. MXIM? You say MXIM is that? Semiconductor. Well, it's definitely not cheaper than AMD. But you're thinking, Gerardo, that MXIM could be AMD? I like your idea there. Moving on here, CTIC. CTIC is a stock that we looked at a couple times today. Now, what was all about the end of the day rally here, Cruise Cuts? You're going to have to let me know what was up with that end of the day rally, CTIC. As you can see here, that end of the day really kind of put it up. Therefore, let me see, it's actually a couple days chart here. This is CTIC today, up 4 cents a share. Nice slow move higher. Obviously, by the chart, it looks like it moved a lot better more aggressively than it actually ended up being, but 10% for CTIC, $114 million market cap. So, this looks like obviously something that's been here for a while. Decent sized company, 45 cents a share right now, 9% today. What was the news today on that? I do see here that they had a phase 3 trial of their drug pancreatinib. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm guessing it has something to do with the pancreas, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, phase 3 data came out last week on that stock. Could that be the same catalyst that's running it here? I don't know. But Cruise Cuts, let me know what you think about that. CTIC, 9% today on the stock. 9% today on the stock. Okay. Say UMC is a peer. Let me see what UMC doing. UMC United. Oh, god damn. What is that? Okay. Yeah, obviously, volume, is a concern here. This lets you know that there are basically not enough buyers, not enough sellers here. So it's struggling to connect the chart, and it's very erratic, and it's just not, it's not where you want it to be just yet. So I'd like to see some volume coming in. As you can see here, 286,000 shares traded. Average is 813. So I don't know what was the deal today. Obviously, look, we still got people coming back from the holidays. All right, we still got people coming back from the holidays. Volume overall in the market wasn't that aggressive. Especially I look at CHK as that measuring stick for me, because this is a stock that average volume is 52 million shares traded. Only 46 million was traded today. So I have always looked at CHK, which is one of in fact, the top 5 most traded stocks on the NYSE as kind of my measuring stick, and to see that stock by half the day was kind of nowhere near its typical moving volume average, lets me know that today was a slow day. So I like UMC though, based on, let me see here. I like the fact that the PE is 17. That's a very healthy PE ratio for a growth stock. Whether or not this is a growth company, what is it? What is that? $4 billion. Okay, it's a $4 billion company. So obviously they've done some things in the past, slightly below their 200-day moving average. This is the 1-year chart, so I don't see very much movement in UMC, man. When I compare UMC to AMD, it's no comparison. So, could they be very similar stocks? Yes. Similar companies? Yes, but they're definitely not similar stocks, right? Based on the movement. So, I think it's not just about finding maybe a similar company, but finding a company as well as a stock that moves very similar to AMD. All right. So UMC, it looks very mature. When I look at this chart, and this is a 1-year chart, this looks like a very mature company that doesn't really do very much. Just being honest with you. All right. TRTC, Nick Flips, he said TRTC is a good buy at 25 to 30 cents a share level. Patience is key. Look, it's very disappointing what the stock did today. I think, let me see here. There's that dip there at 10:15. Actually, what was that, like 10:45 or so? I mean, very, very ugly. I mean, you had really intense selling at that point. Not sure what happens with that. If you're an investor and you were in this at 35 cents, I would still hold out because I think it could come back to you. But, when it crossed that 200-day moving average, that was your sell sign right there. I mean, to get the fuck out of that. Dipped way below there, but it could come back. It could very well come back underneath, on top of that. 31 cents a share. It's not showing necessarily oversold on the RSI, so we got to figure it out. TRTC, not my preferred MJ play, but I know a lot of you guys like TRTC, but it's not necessarily my favorite MJ play. All right, but you're saying it's a good buy at 25 to 30. I agree with that. I actually agree with that. 25 to 30 is very, very strong for TRTC. It's got a lot of support there, as you saw there last week. Will it touch that again? I hope not, man. I mean, I hope not. That could be quite a bad sign, because if it breaks going lower, then who knows where the floor could be on that. See IDXG. Looking at a couple of stocks you guys want to look at here. Interspace Diagnostic Group. This is another health diagnostic company. IDXG. 7 cents, 7% today, 2 cents a share. Gain today, 30 cents a share. This is a stock that moved aggressively last week. This was a big winner last week. And I think it actually was on our list last week. If I can get it. Was it on one of our lists last week? I don't see it actually. No, it was not on our list last week. IDXG, 30 cents a share now. Let's see if it holds, man. Let's see if it holds. You know, this is a lot of volume today. 7 million shares traded. 7 million shares traded in the stock today. And, you know, I wasn't a big fan of that pullback. Again, that's why I don't like jumping into stocks in the first 30 minutes. I mean, do you see that right there? That's just, you got a lot of orders being completed. Then once those orders are done, it tries to find the real buyers. And guess what? All the real buyers are over here. Right? And prices will come down. All right? Prices will come down to find where the buyers are, and that's exactly where it did. That's why investing and trading, rather, in the first 30 minutes is so dangerous. In fact, money managers say they don't trade in the first 30 minutes. And you can read the book, The Money Masters. Forgot the author, but just Google it. It's on Amazon. I believe it's called The Money Masters. Many of them talk about they don't trade the first 30 minutes a day because it's so dangerous. Look at that. That's crazy. All right, that's crazy. Actually got you in the first hour of the day. Caught support there at 21, and was able to recover. So you got some people in there already up pretty solidly from 8 to 10 cents a share. But way to save itself towards the end of the day. They're closing up 2 cents a share. So it really didn't get into the green until like 3:30. So not sure what happened with that stock at all. But hopefully it can recover here soon, with everything else. Yeah, OGXI, shout out to Mario Martinez. OGXI, again, that was the one that I was looking at today. I played OGXI today. I like it because this is a chart we've seen here several times, and I'm going to show you a couple stocks today that look like this, where, as the stock develops, you're looking at the chart, the one-day chart, right? And you're looking at the stock, the one-day chart, just plot your support and resistance lines, and as the chart moves on throughout the day, you're confirming the stock moving higher as you watch it pass your resistance line. And then that's where you kind of add in as you go higher, and of course sell towards the later part of the day. But what was really interesting in OGXI, again, which didn't have any news. This is just pure momentum for whatever reason. All right, just playing into it. There's buyers coming into the play. OGXI, closed strong. You had some heavy buying into the to the end of the day. So I'm kind of curious to see whether or not are we going to see some news dropped here recently. I mean, some news drop here within the next couple of days or what. But 5 days have been pretty nice in OGXI. So something is brewing here. I'm not sure what it is. But this looks like a chart that's setting up for something. And word is being put out to buy OGXI, as you can see here on the chart. So I'm going to be watching OGXI very aggressively tomorrow and for the next several days, because I think something could be coming out here. I'm not sure what it is. But when you start seeing, strong buying in a stock and there's not really a catalyst, you got to find out why. And as somebody who promotes stocks, I can tell you it's either people who are getting inside tips, or there's an individual that's about to, deliver some really good news, and people around him are accumulating. 206, Mr. Lloyd, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Happy Monday to you and everybody out there. Man, Yeah, it was a slow start this morning, man. It was really a slow start for me with the trades that I'm in, and it's crazy the plays that I've been in for months, man. It just I'm learning not to hold shit for so long, man. But I'm constantly holding some damn bags.
Man, what's going on, Mr. Lloyd? What are you looking at right now, man?
I'm still trying to exit INV. CVSI is playing games right now, and I'm hopefully the weed market will turn around before tax time. I'm really, that's going to be a hard discussion to have.
Yeah, man. CVSI. I mean, for the last month. I mean, this is the month chart I'm about to put up here. I mean, it's been a very, very disappointing November for CVSI. And, whether or not this can break higher, man, I think, a couple more days you might be one to ask some questions of whether or not we just kind of move on here.
Right.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean?
You're right. And I hate to do that. Yeah. And it pulls the trigger the next day, and next thing you know, you got that shit blowing up on Twitter, and next thing you know, it's on YouTube. CVSI, everybody, did y'all see it? It went up 9,000%.
Yeah.
So what I realized, man, this morning is that no matter how hard my indicators are tweaked, no matter what candlesticks I know. Mm-hmm. The stock is going to do what it wants to do. You can have a MACD twisted all the way to the bullish side, and it still go down.
Sure.
So, I spend so much time focusing on getting these indicators, studying these candlesticks, and fundamentals. I'm really questioning the importance of everything, because no matter how bullish the signal may be, it can still turn out bearish.
Well, no matter that's with everything. I mean, nothing is a sure thing, but Mr. Lloyd, it's not like you haven't won big before as well.
Man.
So it's just a situation where this one stock, and I think INV, which I think that's more of an emotional thing for you. I think that's an emotional tie for you there. But CVSI. I think if CVSI has a red day tomorrow, I honestly would close that position and move on.
Right. So, other than that, man, I mean, it's So I mean, don't get me wrong. I like indicators, and actually, I like the little volume thing that you were using. I actually looked it up, man. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. It's it just kind of allows you to see who's winning throughout the day. So it kind of lets you know, okay. Is this volume that's pumping in? Are we talking about, is this selling? Is it buying? Who's really behind, this momentum right now? So it confirms the strength of, of current buying and selling. And, the fact that it's color coded lets you know, who's exactly doing it, whether it be buyers or sellers.
Right. And so are you pretty familiar with short squeezes?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
So a short squeeze, I guess my question is this, is because I'm looking at a couple of short squeeze indicators, and when stocks are in a squeeze, I guess my expectations are too high when it comes to short squeezes, because I'm expecting this explosive move, at least 30-40% when you say short squeeze. And so when you're in a short squeeze, is it typically 2 to 3%, or what am I supposed to look at?
Not at all. I mean, a short squeeze, typically you're supposed to see, as you said, those 20, 30 plus gains as people are closing their positions, right, covering, right. And typically what you're looking for is stocks typically under $1, right, that have been betting down for quite a bit. And what they are is that they may have a high short interest, right? They've got a lot of people, betting against the company. The company's been beat up recently. And in fact, as promoters, this is what you look for. I mean, you specifically look for companies that have been, just beat to death, and you got a high short interest. You go to say, hey, do you guys have any interesting news or something to put out? I see you got a lot of people betting against you. If we do it right, you can force these people to cover and really send your stock to the moon. And, so you're looking for a stock that's under $1, has heavy short interest, but has maybe an oncoming or incoming catalyst maybe some good news or whatnot that could be coming. Maybe a gosh, what's it called? A 10K that's going to be put out here, an earnings report that's going to be coming out. Even if it's bad, sometimes just some news, right, can really set people running for the door. So that happens quite a bit. And a couple last weeks ago, SKLN and many other little pumps like that can catch people off guard if they're not careful. But you're look for stocks that are under $1, have huge, short interest, and that maybe have some incoming earnings to report, or some incoming catalyst of whatever reason that could be coming their way shortly. Right.
Well, and how did we play through today that you posted in Discord?
KSHB, KSHB. That actually, let me see here. Let me post it up for everybody to see here. It was up 3% today. I thought it would do a little bit more, but I do believe, honestly, it will test 3 eventually. KSHB, it's got great management. I mean, the people behind it are actually, it's California-based play. They actually are starting to they plan on opening up a few locations. That's the talk anyway. But I actually like this company because they are pretty legit. They are pretty legit. And KSHB now 8% gain on that stock today. So 3%, 3%, 8 cents a share. But I'm going to be looking at KSHB to test 3 again shortly. But love to see a lot more volume come into the stock. Only 135,000 shares, although it's higher than average. Love to see a little more come into it. 275 is not the cheapest in the world, but it's pretty stable play. And for the most part, it's kind of found its bottom there last week. I think it's kind of bouncing off that $2 mark here, going higher to hopefully retest 3 here soon.
When you short stocks, have you ever been closed out by your broker before? I mean, because of
yes, oh yeah. I mean, your broker would typically close you out after maybe 4 or 5 days. Some as 3, even if you're up huge. Because you got to understand, when you borrow those shares, right, you're borrowing from someone, right? From someone. Sometimes it's your broker, or sometimes your broker does literally get it from somebody else who owns it. And if that person closes the position, or enough people who owned those shares with your broker close their positions, your broker will close yours. So
you could be in a hole of $150 and they'll just close you out.
If it's been 4 or 5 days, and the people who you borrowed it from, or a large amount of people who own those shares with your broker closed positions, your broker could close your position. Very well. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And speaking about short interest, man, RGSE, I think RGSE had a high short interest. But, what I've noticed, and I was talking to the guys in the Discord, I think they had, it was 80%?
Yeah.
Yesterday?
I saw you guys pumping RGSE in the Discord. What was that all about? I mean, what was the reason for that?
I think because they had a high short interest and the float was very low, and so my argument is this with these short interests. ADPT was a short interest stock, or excuse me, a high short interest, which was in the 80s, and so RGSE was in the 80s as well. So typically people think when it's a high short interest that it's going to initiate a short squeeze. Okay. And which can happen. Which can happen, but you've got to have enough buyers to do that. I mean, the price has to you got to have people on one accord who are in there to buy, and that happens in a situation where there is a catalyst. There is news, there is some kind of event that triggers a large amount of buying, because the people who are short, right? They've got to be scared out of their position. They've got to actually maybe if there's a mental stop that has to be hit, or they've just got to see something on the volume that shows, okay, I better take my gains and get up the fuck out of here. But if you don't have enough people, to come in and on one accord buy, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Right. And I guess my last question for you, this is just for my learning experience, man. Typically, when you get into a stock and have a price target in mind, and let's say let's say it's 5 or 10. Well, I don't know how. I mean, what type of stocks you play, but I guess if it's 50% under what your price target is, I mean, you ever look at a stock and be like, you know what, should I take that money or should I hold tight in my price target? I mean, and
I'm kind of lost on your question there.
So I guess my question is this: when you are in a play and you have a price target in mind, you know, 'cause typically I like to come up with something the night before.
Okay.
And I'm set in stone. If it gets to $2, I'm going to sell. And let's say it got up to 190.
Yes.
So, have you ever looked at that 190 and like, you know what, I'm going to take this off of a gut feeling because you feel like it's going to reverse down and you're not going to have anything.
Of course. I mean, again, you're using your momentum indicators like RSI or Bollinger Bands or the CCI to determine whether or not buying momentum is still there. And if that momentum is no longer there, let me take this off. So if buying momentum is no longer there, then I'm closing out and moving on. You know what I'm saying? That's just the, at the end of the day, everybody has a price target, but if buying is slowing up, all right, then I got to close out. I got to take my profits and go home, unless my rule was to stay in for more than one day, whatever that rule was. Now, if you said, hey, I'm going to stay in, 2-3 days and whatnot, and, that's not necessarily part of the plan for you to sell, then, that's a different conversation. But if you're in it for the day and you're watching your momentum indicator showing, buying slowing up, take your profits and go home.
Right.
There's always going to be another day, always.
And I saw your CCI indicator didn't have a midline. So how do you read your CCI?
Well, that's the thing. There was a show. I don't know if you had saw it, but my CCI indicator, I've made some adjustments to it. So I don't want to beat the dead horse because I have kind of already talked about it. And
okay.
Yeah. And I am going to make a video showing the adjustments I make. But as you can see now on the screen, you can see my midline, which is the zero line. But I make adjustments to it where the zero, above the zero is positive buying, below the zero is negative is negative pressure. So anything below zero is confirmation of selling. Anything above zero is confirmation of buying. And how high, it shows the intensity. And a lot of people can say, well, that's very similar to RSI. Well, yes and no, because sometimes I want to be able to see when buying is coming into the stock. So as let's say negative pressure starts here, as we slowly creep higher, I know, okay, well, this might be an opportunity where I can buy and then watch it go higher. So a little bit hard to explain, but I think people get the gist.
I got the gist of it, man, and I will just go back and rewind if I get lost or something. But sorry, I don't have any tickers to pass out, but definitely sharing the knowledge with me and to enhance my ability to possibly be a successful trader. I really appreciate it, man.
Not a problem. Hey, I appreciate you too, Mr. Lloyd. Thanks for the call, man.
Hey, thanks. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. All right. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody and you guys' calls in the chat room. It's not only about me. I'm learning this just as much as you guys. I'm always learning. Always learning. You guys know we always share all the DVDs. We give away the free, what is that, the 40-hour Tim Sykes DVDs? I think there are actually 100 hours in there. So you guys can have all that. The Discord room, Mag 3690. I always call him 36090. But Mag, it's got the Discord chat room in there. So after the show, before the show, Saturdays, Sundays, Wednesdays when I don't show, you guys can go in there, and there are guys who will be more than happy to help you with whatever question you want answered. All right? So there's always people who are willing to help you around here. We would like to consider this kind of a family of traders. There are a lot of rooms out there where you guys can pay $200 to quote unquote call each other bros, but this is free. It'll always be free. All right. You guys know I promote. You don't have to buy the stocks I like, but we're always going to talk about stocks and penny stocks here, and it'll always be free. And we'll always give away great information and knowledge here completely free. I do not believe in paying for shit, honestly. I just don't. All right. ETRM 0.07. Look, 7 cents a share. Who brought ETRM? About my money. What do you like about ETRM? This is a stock that, you know, it kind of has its days, man, and you can never really predict it, and that's the only reason why I can't fuck with ETRM, because it's just, you don't know what it's going to do. You know, it's been beat up for ages, and all of a sudden, you know, it wants to run out of nowhere, which is really interesting because it ran last week. It's actually finding some support here at 6 cents a share, but, you know, another red day. So this is a stock that just doesn't do it for me. So if it does it for you, please let me know. Call up the show. You guys know the numbers right there on the screen, 305-600-2896, 305-600-2896. You can always call up and tell us why, but ETRM, just not my thing, man. Not sure what you like about it. All right, going back higher here. Telly, I saw you in the chat room say, looking to get into penny stocks. Well, how is it hard starting off? Yes, it is hard. But it's fun to learn, and once you get used to it, it does get better with time. Ernest the Kid, you want to learn? Watch some of these videos, man. Watch some of these videos. You can email me, happypennystocks@gmail.com. If you know how to use torrents, I'll send you the DVDs. All right. Tim Sykes, great person to learn from. VAPE, I saw that in the chat room quite a bit. Vape, 1 penny. I mean, it is what it is with vape. I don't know where vape is going. I just feel like this was a company that, you know, had so much going for it, but for whatever reason, it's just not getting it done. It's not getting it done. And, you know, here's the 5-day chart, which isn't bad. But I mean, there's just so much other things that are moving out there, you know, but it's dirt cheap. I get it. It's dirt cheap. What's going on, Jay? We got Jay in the house tonight. You know, it's dirt cheap, and I know you guys like that play. All right? I know you guys like that play. A stock that I want to introduce that I don't know how we overlooked this play. And, Jay, might be something you might like, is CAS, C-A-A-S. I don't know where we were because I was not paying attention to the stock. And for whatever reason, again, you know, no scanner is perfect because I missed out on this. China Automotive Systems, which, by the way, China Automotive Systems is up over 47% in the last 30 days. The company has recently gotten a buy rating from Zacks, which, you know, is suspicious in itself. But at the end of the day, you know, we'll see. Zacks does move stocks, so I'm interested in it still. Now, very interested in this little wall that looks like to be developing here, but it's slowly creeping up higher. Volume is increasing, which is a good thing. All right, in CAAS. Average volume is 31,000 shares. Volume recently, if I look at let me see the historical data here. Ever since the 23rd, which was Wednesday, all right, and ironically when the stocks actually started moving, all right, which was 242,000 shares traded on Wednesday, the 23rd, to now we're almost up about 300% since then to over 500,000 shares now, 694,000 shares traded on CAAS. All right, up $1 today at 16%. That's good movement in a $7 stock, and a $6 stock to be up 16%. That's good money. I'm going to be interested in seeing what that does tomorrow. All right, because I believe the stock has yet to have a red day in the last week and a half, if I'm correct. All right. If I'm correct. Jay saying it's a sympathy play off KNDI. Let's look at KNDI real quick. KNDI, alternative electrical vehicles play, $5 a share, 9%. All right, so cheaper, which is really interesting for a more expensive stock to be running. All right. And companion with the cheaper play. KNDI, another $5 penny stock here. 9%, 45 cents today. Almost 100% on the volume gain today. 649,000 shares. That's pretty healthy volume. I like it. KNDI. Let me see here. Can this move again tomorrow? And so far, I don't see any signs within the chart seeing any possible weakness that could be brewing up here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens after the first 30 minutes here. I do see here, it seems like every morning kind of runs up high. Let me see the one-day chart here. Obviously, as you can see here, volume is steady. It runs up high in the morning. You didn't really get an opportunity to make anything on here until the end of the day. All right, until really the end of the day, you got some movement here. It looks like, you know, it's still sketchy. All right, still sketchy. It's a lot of fighting here, back and forth between buyers and sellers. But eventually, looks like buyers went out towards the end of the day. But I'd love to see a more, just like as you're probably saying to yourself right now, a more developed chart. All right, a more developed chart. All right, I'd definitely love to see that. All right. I'd definitely love to see a more developed chart. Cruise cuts. I saw cruise cuts real quick. Talked about BAS. BAS was on the biggest gainer list last week. Let me see real quick where oil is right now. We've got a meeting, an OPEC meeting. I think it's Wednesday. I think we have an OPEC meeting Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. That should be some movement. That should be a really nice catalyst for somebody in here. Crude oil right now, we're at what, 46.90. Let me look at the chart real quick. Crude, okay, so crude's in between right now. We're at 46.90. Starting a little bit better than we were yesterday, of course, but still not as strong as we probably need to be. BAS, oil-related energy services play. Keep watching it though. Keep watching it though. But you got to be loving natural gas. And if you guys want a good play tomorrow, natural gas still moving, still nicely over the threes. Not sure what the sell-off was today. All right. Jim Cramer came out and shitted on the stock. Did that have something to do with it? I honestly believe that. He came out and really shitted on the stock on the show today. And that was really disappointing to see. So I expect CHK to get beaten up early. But if we get too low on CHK, I think you might have a situation where the stock is oversold here. All right. At the end of the day, we're still talking about a $5 billion company, one of the number one traded stocks on the exchange, very transparent. And at the end of the day, they still have a great catalyst. The big business, natural gas, is getting more and more expensive. So it's still got a lot of things going for it. I'm not sure why Jim Cramer came out and said all that things he said on CHK. All right. UGAS. Yeah, UGAS, as you can see here, Jay, with that UGAS. And actually, you can play the options on this. I think the options are relatively cheap. They're relatively cheap on UGAS. You might want to look that up on your brokerage if you play options. But I like CHK. I do like CHK. But be very aware that it could be a sell-off tomorrow. But if it gets too low, 25 cents knocked off the price today. But if it gets into the low sixes, 605, 60, then we're talking oversold here. All right, then we're possibly talking oversold here. All right. I actually made a tweet on AROPQ this week. I went and talked to the manager when I was in Michigan, the Saginaw Valley Mall location of AROPQ. And look, they're coming out of bankruptcy. They will, they want to. Let me just say they want to, because it hasn't been finalized yet. They want to save the shareholders. But the fact of the matter is they will be coming out of bankruptcy as Aeropostale. They're not selling off. They do want to hold off. But at the end of the day, some stores are closing off. All right. I'm not going to spend too much time on ARPQ because it's still very, very risky, man. This is something that if you're going to put any money in AROPQ, please be, willing to lose it all, because you very much can. And we like to give, a lot of honest opinions here. And there are a lot of people in the room that will tell you, not sure, but be very careful of this. But for right now, ARPQ, it is what it is, man. that's what the stock is right now. All right. PZRX. Yeah, we talked about PZRX. PZRX, the FDA winner, should be a winner again tomorrow. FDA news is always great news for the markets, especially when you talk about biotech. So PZRX, it's not going to do what it did today. All right, it's not going to do what it did today, but it should be a green winner tomorrow. PZRX. That's going to be on the list for tomorrow to watch as well. All right. AIRI. AIRI. Don't know much about this company. Aircraft parts manufacturing. All right, aircraft parts manufacturing. I'm not familiar with this one. Who brought that up? I runs New York. You're gonna have to let me know about it, man. You're gonna have to let me know about it. Free your mind. Contact me, man. happypennystocks@gmail.com. I'll send you the link to Tim Sykes. Or if you want, somebody go ahead and just put it in the chat room. For those of you guys who got that link to the torrent, I don't know if Travi or Mag are still in here. Let me know what you guys think about it. Just go ahead and put what you think about it. Go ahead and put the link to Tim Sykes, the DVDs. Don't hate the player, hate the game. This is public information that we're spreading here, all right? So AIRI, back to this. Again, I don't know much about the company. Aircraft parts manufacturing is basically what it's saying. 40% today. I'm not seeing a catalyst here within the news. All right, not seeing a catalyst within the news. Volume was strong, almost 1,000% where it typically is. This stock trades at about 10,000 shares daily. Did 100,000 today, which still isn't that great. But find out what's driving that, man. Find out what's driving that. But I couldn't tell you what's going on with that. MJNA, yeah, MJNA was my pre-market winner. If you guys follow me on Twitter, again, I kind of released some stocks this morning. MJNA, Kush Bottles, and SRNA. SRNA was my pump almost a month or two ago. But SRNA did very well with that. Since declined, but did really good today. We'll talk about that a little later. MJNA, 3% today. All right, 3% today on MJNA. So good day. The sell-off towards the end always pisses me off because that always happens to be kind of an issue with SRNA, where you'll have toward the end of the day, you'll have a sell-off, which just kind of pisses you off, because you're not sure what is that all about. Maybe they're just people who toward the end of the day just love selling out and, riding the intraday movement in MJNA. But I still like MJNA going higher. Where it could go, not sure. Let's spread the day out here. Here's the 5-day chart. 1 month. All right, 1 month. We're still not there yet. So 13 is the breakout. Let me see, to be exact, that's like 1331. All right, so 1331 is the breakout. Some people may say it's the breakout is actually right here or it's right here. I try to say a recent high. All right, a recent high as the breakout, because that gives it momentum to reach the higher levels it used to be at. All right, and appreciate Travi, man. There you go, Travi posted it up there. That's the torrent. All right, so you got almost like 100 hours there of DVDs. I mean, you watch those DVDs, watch them a couple times, and you'll know 1,000% more than you know about penny stocks after you're done with that. All right, but don't let the penny stocks bashing fool you. You can make a lot of money with this, because I know sometimes he can go, a little too much on bashing penny stocks. But you can make a lot of money buying these things. WDRP, I can already tell you that's that Wonderport company. Wonderport up 10%. 0044. This is a stock that has been promoted several times. It can do some things, man. 60 cents just a couple weeks ago, not 60 cents, 0.0060 about a week ago. So it can definitely do some things. Whether or not it's going to do it, again, I can't promise you anything. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Low, pretty low today on the volume. Average volume is about 6 million shares, only 1.9 moved today, which is really low for a stock this cheap. I mean, only 1.9 million shares. The stock is, 0.0044. That's pretty dirt cheap. STRL, Sterling Construction. Jeez. Like the chart. And, again, this is another Trump winner that I talked about earlier. There's a big belief in, the Trump victory that infrastructure spending is going to go out of the roof under his presidency. And I believe it. I honestly believe it. I think Trump can create an environment where it's going to be easy for cities and municipalities and states to be able to borrow capital to get some things done. One of the things that he talked about in his debates was, and he absolutely knocked it out, the park with this one, was the fact that, when you go to other countries, you go to Dubai, you go to, well, not France, because France got a pretty ugly airport, but you go to, countries in Africa, Johannesburg, you go to Turkey, you go to, all these other countries that are nowhere near on the same level as the United States of America, and you go to their airports, you land, and, they've got the huge, 70, 100-inch screens, and, it's beautiful, it smells great, it's new, it's clean, it's innovative. And, you go around America, and our airports look like shit. Our airports are a complete joke. Our roads are a joke, our highways are a joke. I mean, America looks old. It looks old, depending on where you are, of course. But for the most part, America looks very, very old. And what we need is a huge, massive infrastructure investment in the United States of America. And there are people putting their money behind a lot of steel companies, a lot of concrete companies, a lot of, of course, oil, gas, and whatever. But STRL is just one of those companies that's really benefiting from, again, a Trump presidency. And look, these can go much higher. These can go much higher, and they will go higher if he continues to talk about jobs, if he continues to talk about our economy and making things in our cities better. All right. And there already been some people talking about balloon, this is a balloon, the Trump balloon. Don't listen to it. Play these charts, make your money. All right. If it cracks, you'll see the crack coming. But until then, I'm looking at this chart. I want to go for a swing here. When I look at this chart, I want to go for a swing here. Now, that sell-off toward the end of the day here, let me see that sell-off toward the end of the day here. That's just profit taking. But, look at the one-day chart. This is not bad. This is not bad for one day. Okay? This is not bad. Oh, yeah, we can talk about rail, too. We can definitely talk about rail. In fact, let's talk about rail, because I don't know of a rail stock. So, Jay, if you have one, let me know of a rail stock. You say American Airlines is a piece of shit. Hong Kong, yeah. Look, Hong Kong. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, our rail system is a joke. Andrew Forward, PTN, Palantir Technologies. This was a stock that was on the biggest gainers list a couple times last week, as we can see here. Looks like it's gone sideways, man. PTN was a stock last week before the holidays we were really looking at, but crossed underneath the 200-day moving average. Now I'm looking at, it's kind of struggling to get back up on top of that. But PTN, it kind of looks like it's running out of steam here on PTN. Really, really good mover last week. It seems like after the holidays, I'm not sure what's going on there. But it had a great month, though. It had a pretty good month here since the 21st. All right, since the 21st. Obviously, if you got it in at 49.50 cent, it's had a pretty solid month for anyone who was in it that long. Okay. But PTN, you said toss the CCI and put the MACD. What do you guys like about MACD? I feel like when I see the MACD, I don't read anything. Maybe I haven't actually had MACD explained to me. Let me see. I'm not MACD strategy. I haven't had MACD. Let's hide RSI for a second. And let's put this one at the bottom. All right, let's extend this out a little bit more so you guys can see it better. All right, so Jay, if you can call up and explain MACD, I'd appreciate it. You said buses are. I'm not a big believer in buses. I'm Greyhound and all that, China buses. I think I just don't see America going on buses anymore. I think now if you're on a bus, it's because you're low income and you can't afford to rent a car, and you can't afford to fly. So the whole idea of going across the country or going somewhere in a bus with other strangers is because you're low income. All right. So the bus has become the symbol of low income America. And I think that's where the bus will be, and it will be for now on, is the symbol of low income America. All right. I just don't believe in buses anymore. All right. Yes, indeed. DHL pilots on strike. Okay. Didn't know that. Did not know that. See a lot of people getting a scooter. Yes, the scooter is the new big thing on college campuses now. People grabbing scooters. What is that? Rail. Freight Car America. Rail 1447. See, this is another stock, on that Trump rally. All right. Sure enough, here, the day after the election, took off. Freight Car America, ticker symbol RAIL, looks like 110,000 shares. So it's not a crazy stock that moves all day every day, but obviously does something or has done something. But let me see here, dividends. Okay, so it's a dividend paying stock as well. USDP, real quick. Let's look at what he put out there. USDP Construction Engineering. All right, so these aren't cheap, but I know this is the type of stocks that Jays love, but these aren't cheap. These aren't too cheap. All right, these definitely aren't too cheap. Let me see here. Yeah, it would take some working out, Jay, on that one. So I'd have to figure that out, and that's something that I probably don't even have time for. But I would definitely figure out how to do it in just a moment. What's the typical day for me? What's my schedule for the day? Man, waking up in the morning, you know what I'm saying, at around anywhere between 6:30. Me, and another business partner of mine. We do a lot of internet marketing and stuff like that, so I got a lot of posts that I got to make, a lot of other Twitter accounts that I own that we're, doing some other stuff on. We got a business where we help people with credit and whatnot, and I've already got my list because we start the list here at the end of the day. But then, put in your trades, look at, some options because I'm still playing around with options, and day trade, All right, and day trade. So quite typical as any other trader, but trying to make this it has been a full-time business for me, but I do have some other things that interplay within my internet marketing life. All right, I read a book called Click Millionaire. You should read it. I read the book Click Millionaire, and I said I never work from anyone again. If people are actually making a living from home, using the computer, I could do it too. All right. So going back to these stocks. Let me see here. We talked about CAAS. Let me see here. HTBX. Jay, I don't know if you know anything about this one, HTBX. Now, this was on a gainers list a couple days ago for some movement. Strong movement today that really caught my eye, HTBX, which was really interesting because the stock moved almost 30% today. The stock moved over 30% today. And look, I do remember them talking about their pipeline, the lung cancer results drug last week, almost a week and a half ago. And they did release the phase 2 cancer results of that drug a week and a half ago. I like this company because it's a local company to me. They're based right here in North Carolina, so I'm keeping an eye on them. I'm not in the stock, which I probably should be. I mean, the way it's moving these last couple of days, but I'm not convinced it's real just yet. I'm not convinced it's real just yet. But Jay, you said it's your favorite for the week, HTBX. Okay, it's his favorite for the week, HTBX. Strong buying, man. Very strong buying. I mean, look at that, man. Volume, 18 million shares traded today. The average is only 1 million daily. 1 million daily, 18 million traded today alone. So that's huge buying in HTBX. So I'm going to be watching that tomorrow. That's going to be on our list tonight as well. That's going to be on our list tonight as well for you guys to watch. All right. I actually love this company. And again, I should be in it, but for whatever reason, I'm not. But HTBX, local company to me. And they're making things happening over there. And I guess their cancer drug is legit. Their cancer drug is actually legit. So interesting to see what that's going on. Quick back into the cannabis. I talked about last week on the show about that cannabis company that got approved to trade on the New York Stock Exchange. This is a cannabis company. Can you believe that? I'm telling you, cannabis is for real, guys. Cannabis is for real. Anyway, the name of the company is called Innovative Industrial Properties, all right? They're trying to raise over $175 million on their next IBO. This is a real estate investment trust, and they basically own facilities. They own medical cannabis facilities, and of course, stock in states that have legalized recreational or medical marijuana. All right. So the company is looking to hopefully be valued at over $200 million, and they plan to use at least $30 million of that, to pump into their company, PharmaCann, which is a New York-based medical cultivator and dispensary operator, which I believe is a subsidiary company. So the ticker they want to go and get, or they actually have already been approved, they've already been approved to trade, is IIPR. All right, IIPR. I'm going to put that in the chat room for you guys. You guys can check out this article. IIPR. And in fact, if you look up IIPR, there's no price or anything, but it is there. It is there, ready to be traded. They're just going through some things right now, but this is a cannabis New York Stock Exchange. And if I'm correct, I think this is the first number one cannabis-related play trading on the New York Stock Exchange, the most premier exchange in America. So this is huge news, and we obviously all want IIPR to do very well. And they plan on pricing these shares at $20 a share. At $20 a share. Look, even if you don't have a lot of money, I would still play it. Because I think this is going to run based on the excitement and then based on, the history being made here. All right. This is going to be the very first time for investors to get this kind of exposure. All right. This kind of exposure on the New York Stock Exchange. So this could be a very, very interesting play for a lot of these companies we're talking about here on the OTC that one day could end up on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. So all eyes will be on this stock once they go public. It's going to be really exciting to see. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. You said, how do you keep track of IIPR? Set a Google alert. Of what I do. If there's a stock that, for whatever reason, I can't put an alert on my broker or whatnot, I set a Google alert for the name of the company and the ticker symbol. So the name of the company is Innovative Industrial Properties. So I'll go to Google Alert. Just go to Google, type in Google Alerts. It'll send you the Google Alerts page. Set up a Google alert for innovative industrial properties. Any day there's news on that company, it's going to go straight to your email address, and you're going to get. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. I love Google alerts. Love Google alerts. Always staying on top of companies that I want to whenever, and you can always remove it when you get tired of it for whatever reason. But you can set a Google alert. All right. All right. Ronald, you said, how do I search for penny stocks? I've got, if you go to my main page, I got a video on there, how to find, penny stocks and all that. There are a ton of screeners out there. I think Jay gave you a list, FinViz, Zacks, there are a ton of websites out there that will help you, man. They purchased the land to rent for farmers. No, Eric, they actually purchased the facilities. So they actually rent out the facilities to companies who want to, cultivate marijuana. All right, they control the facilities. Would I recommend a bank broker or online broker from website? Well, if this is your first time, you can always go to Robinhood. Use stock trade, it's still good. I know there's a lot of people, now use stock trade. There's probably no reason now to go to use stock trade now that they're going to be implementing the PDT rule. So with that being said, I would probably go to Robinhood because, you get the safe, bet that they're in the United States of America. So now that there is no, PDT, there is PDT rule at use stock trade, there's really no reason to go beyond Robinhood. If you want access to OTC stocks, you got to go to E-Trade or TD Ameritrade, but it will cost you $9 a share, $9.99. All right, you can work that out. Lower if you buy more shares or you buy regularly. All right, GLBS, GLBS is part of the whole group of stocks that was running last week or 2 weeks ago now. With shipping, you guys remember the Baltic Dry Index was soaring, so everything that was a shipping stock was soaring, and GLBS was one of those companies that was running under the that catalyst, and 385, 6% gain on the stock today. Why? I don't know. I'm thinking this is a situation where oversold situation, but it deserves to be that way because at the end of the day, it's not a very valuable play. I just don't believe it is. Collapsed toward the end of the day. So I expect to see selling tomorrow. And here was the stock today, GLBS. This was a stock, if I remember correctly, GLBS was one of the biggest gainers. Appreciate that, Matthew. This was one of the biggest gainers today. But it collapsed at what? Like 130, as we can see here on the chart. Collapsed at about 130, and again, I feel so sorry. For these investors who, when you don't know what you're trading, this is what happens, man. So sad.
Oh, shit.
GLBS. Sorry for those investors. Still ended up green. If you were in it the night before. All right, but more than likely you probably weren't, or even the couple. But GLBX, sorry for that. It is what it is. All right. Demond Stokes, you're saying who was the underwriter? Good question. Who is the underwriter for this IPO? Let me see if it's listed in the article. It's not listed in the article, but I'm sure you can find it with some little bit of effort. It's Renaissance Capital. All right. No, I don't think it's Renaissance Capital. Yeah, you might want to find that, but I'm sure it's out there anyway. But yeah, that link, also that website, the Cannabis is a really legit cannabis news website. All right, for any type of cannabis related business news, that's where I go first. The Cannabis.co. Really great site. All right, for legit news. All right. Real quick, I want to introduce to you guys a VR company. This is a virtual reality company that they're going to be changing their name soon. Right now they go by the name, actually no, they're going to change the ticker soon, but right now they go by the name Energy Tech, which eventually, so the ticker is ENTKD. Very long, I get it, but that they're going to get rid of that soon. But the company's name is called Timefire VR. So Timefire VR is going to be a virtual reality content producer and provider that will develop comprehensive virtual reality city called Hypatia, which is going to be a unique social and educational and cultural world that you are going to be able to live in through your comfort of your home. Literally a second dimension separated from this one. You're going to be able to live on the VR world as having a regular job, a regular, whatever it is you do. It's going to be a VR world. Okay. I'm still learning about the company, but I want to bring it to you because it sounds really exciting. They're looking to get the price down. All right. So they're trying to eventually get the stock, down to a point where it's going to be a lot more tight on the bid and ask spreads. So ENTKD is the ticker. ENTKD is the ticker. So they are trying to get the price down. They are going to be doing some promotional activity here soon. I will keep you aware of it, but I wanted to give you guys a unique look at this so-called world of unique possibilities. Again, the ticker is ENTKD. The name of the company is Timefire VR. Check it out, guys. Here is the clip. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So that is supposed to be the future of what gaming is supposed to be, what life is supposed to be. VR is the future. So I would watch that stock carefully. And again, if it starts to move, I will let you guys know. All right. If it starts to move really aggressively, I will let you guys know. And, we'll stay on top of it. We'll stay on top of it. Timefire VR. So good luck to those guys at that company, Timefire VR. Current ticker, ENTKD. All right, ENTKD. I wouldn't touch the stock now. All right, I wouldn't touch the stock now. They're doing something with it, trying to get that, price down, and then they're going to start, getting it, liquid enough to where people would actually want to participate. But still too high right now. They are decreasing, slowly decreasing shares. They did on 11/22, they did a 1-for-10 split. So they're still trying to, and I believe they want to do another split here to get the stock down. So they're trying to do another split here. Again, just 6 days ago, they did a split for 1-for-10. So they're trying to do it again here pretty shortly. And it was, not too long ago, petroleum company, natural gas. So they reverse split into this company that was already publicly traded. So they got some things to work out, but it's going to be really interesting to see. All right. Oh yeah. I mean, can you imagine? You know, Call of Duty, Battlefield. I mean, there's so many things that can be out there. You know, you can live a different being. You can be a different person, you know, in the VR world. So, you know, then hopefully we can get the implementation of Bitcoin, and, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how VR changes our world. So we'll see. All right. Yes, indeed. We will see. We will see. All right. Next thing, let me see here. RNVA. Another penny stock. RNVA. RNVA 13 cents a share. 30% today got my attention. 30% got my attention today. Now, this is a company that not too long ago, I think it was like a month ago, they acquired the genetic health company Genomas. But why is it ran today? I'm not sure why. And I couldn't find any news. So if anybody could find out why that ran, let me know. RNVA 13 cents a share. Again, these are one of those bottom of the pit NASDAQ plays that, you know, I know, Jay, you don't like, and a lot of other people, but a lot of people do love. 13 cents a share, 3 cents today. Opened up at 10 cents, 11 cents a share. Got to a high of 15 cents a share today. All right, opened up at 11 cents, got to a high of almost 15 cents a share, but eventually settled down at 13. So yeah, this was a stock that was up huge intraday. Calmed down 13 cents for 3 cents a share for 30% gain. I'd love to know why, though. Love to know why. All right, 510. You said you got one of those VR systems and you hate it? Oh, okay. Why do you hate it? Hey, what's going on, penny hat stocks? You got to wait for all the bugs. Yeah. I'm a big believer in VR too, but I think it's still too early. Someone said, yeah, Eric Lamb, you said 2 or 3 years. I'm well with you on that. 2 to 3 years will be right, because a lot of bugs. I mean, even watching that video, I saw some things in there. I was like, it looked like I was watching, gosh, what's that? Like Wolfenstein from like 1997. Some of those, you know, graphics were like, good God. All right. ACOL, ACOL, 0056. ACOL's been a runner in the past. Looks like it got up there today, but calmed down. 0.0056 was the high. We're pretty close to the 52-week high here. 0073. We thought it was going to break that last week, you know, but it's calmed down since then. Here's the 5-day chart. Let me see the 1 day. See, still, you know, man, that looks kind of ugly, man. There's a lot of gaps there, but interesting enough, still 12 million shares being traded, but not being traded enough. And that's the situation here. When you're looking at gaps in the chart like that's not enough buying and selling. That is, you know, throughout the day. You're seeing a lot of gaps here because these are literally no orders. All right, these are no orders. So as we go down, this is the time of the day, right? Throughout the chart, time of the day, and you're seeing these gaps. There are no orders there. All right, no orders. That's not good. That's not a good thing. All right, so I'd love to see a little bit more, you know, happening there before I would want to jump in. Nikhil, you're absolutely right, man. You know, porn. A lot of people, you know, underestimate the power of porn, but porn is why the internet is what it is right now, is because of porn. You know, say what you wanted to say. It's absolutely right. You're right on it, man. You're right on it. MINE, Mernerco. This is, look, we can go back and forth on mine. I'm, you know, this was a stock that 2-3 years ago, if you guys remember the countless stories that were coming out on this guy they were calling the Wolf of Weed Street. Remember him? This was supposedly this guy who had made like millions of dollars on marijuana stocks, which I believe he did at the beginning, but he, for most intents purposes, has pretty much lost it all since. But he still has somewhat of a following, but he got literally maybe 10,000 people or so to buy this stock in called Mine, which was a weed play. They had a couple drinks and a couple snacks, but it was a dud. And, you know, a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of people lost a lot of money in this company because it's just not, it's, compared to many other plays, it's just not as good. It's not as good. You got a lot of losers in this stock, man. A lot of losers. All right. A lot of losers. A lot of losers. All right. On a Nintendo 64. Yeah, it did look like a 64 game a little bit, didn't it? It did look like a 64 game in that. It very well did. All right. It very well did. All right, so I'm looking here at anything else that might be able to pump our interest. And let me see, SRT. I didn't even know there was a company actually called Star Trek. Did you guys, were you guys aware there was actually a company called Star Trek? Not Star Trek, Star Tech, excuse me, Star Tech. I thought it was Trek, man. Star Tech. Star Tech. SRT, no volume. Interesting day. I wanted to take a look at the chart, see what was up here. Interesting day on the stock, $8.36. Looks like it's a data processing company. No volume, no volume enough for me. Vale, V-A-L-E. I did see somebody bring this up. Vale, the steel company, again, this is another company that's running on the Trump hype. This is something that's a little bit more solid. Obviously, he's running on the Trump train right now, and say what you want, but that's a beautiful chart, man. That's an incredibly beautiful chart. Vale, 68 cents a share, steel company. I do foresee the Trump administration being even more aggressive than the Obama administration in penalizing steel dumping in the United States. And we can credit Obama for that one. That's something that I would give to Obama because Obama did crack down the dumping on steel in the United States. Now, with that being said, for the first 6 years or so in his presidency, he didn't care about steel. All right. He didn't really care about steel until they eventually, it was really the last 2 years. The administration really started paying attention to the steel people, because if you look at companies like X, right, for example, U.S. Steel, another company that's running on the Trump thing. U.S. Steel is absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys seen the chart for U.S. Steel. It's been insane 1 year chart. It's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible 1 year chart for U.S. Steel. The stock was a $7 stock. It was a $7 stock at the beginning of the year. I remember looking at U.S. Steel as a possible investment for a couple days. Who would have thought that, in January, one, Donald Trump would be president, but two, U.S. Steel would be trading at $32 a share. The stock is up almost 400% since January. U.S. Steel is way up, way, way, way up. All right. Way, way, way up on U.S. Steel. Ticker symbol X. Yeah, here's the intraday chart. Intraday chart looks like, are we talking about possibly getting bearish here? I'm not sure. But here's the 1 day chart on the stock. Lost $1 a share today. Wouldn't give it up on it just yet. But I know there are some people saying a pullback is necessary. A pullback is necessary. Yeah, X, we talked about AMD. Both of them good plays, man. Both of them good plays. Both of them good plays. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. I'm looking at some other plays that I really like. Interesting to see EXK come up today. That was a really interesting move today on EXK. EXK is a silver stock, and silver has gotten quite beat up recently. So it was really interesting to see EXK run. This is a silver company. If you see silver running, this is definitely the stock you want to get in when silver is running. when silver or gold, because we know silver lags gold when commodities are under fire. But, why this stock was up today, again, I couldn't find really a reason for it. Because for the most part, stock prices in silver have been beat up this week. In fact, we're at the same levels we saw November 22nd at that 1673 level. We're right where we were on November 22nd. The stock actually dropped over the Thanksgiving break. The price of silver, dropped over the Thanksgiving break, recovered somewhat today, but to justify a 7% move today in EXK, it was kind of a little bit, undeserved. So I'd like to know what the cause was that for. So I'm going to be looking for EXK to give some of that back tomorrow. All right. What are my thoughts on gold? I think gold is a sell right now, man. I think stocks right now are where people want to be. I think you got a lot of catalysts for the markets right now, and I don't know why anybody would want the safety of commodities right now. I just don't think that that's the place you want to be. If you go to Google now and type in articles on $800, $900 gold, there are people who honestly believe we could get to a situation where we have $850 gold. And gold right now is at we're still at $1,100. We're at $1,100, and that's a far cry from where we were not too long ago. I would want to hear what the Peter Schiffs, or what's his name, the gold guy. All these guys who Peter, God, I forgot the guy's name. Who's all about gold. He's got a channel here on YouTube. He was all over CNBC calling the housing collapse. I forgot his name. But anyway, he, $1,300 gold just, 2-3 months ago. If I look here, 3 months ago, we were looking at $1,300 gold. Now, $1,000 gold looks like a reality. It looks like a reality. Look, if I could go back in time, and I swear sometimes I look at these charts all the time and I wish I could just go back and time travel, right? I would put the biggest fucking put on gold right now at $1,100, because that was out of the question before the election. All right? Before the election, that was out of the question. People were talking $2,000 gold. Now, $1,000 gold is seriously, a possibility. It's seriously a possibility. We'll see. We will see. All right? A shift not only in beliefs, a shift in mentality and ideology. It's going to be really interesting. I think the next 4 years, unlike a lot of people, I'm looking at the next 4 years with a lot of optimism. I say what you want, but I think Donald Trump has the ability to be one of the best presidents this country's ever had if he does the right things. All right? If he does the right things. Get away from nationalist thinking, which a lot of people around him got in office based on nationalist ideology. Get back to what I know he's good for, which is business. All right? He doesn't care about nationalism. He's not a nationalist. All right? He's going to get away from that. He's going to disappoint a lot of people when you start seeing a lot of, people who didn't vote for Trump being put to work by Trump because of his policies. I think a lot of people are underestimating that guy. I think he's going to do well. I understand penny hat stocks, but I think he's going to do very well. I think you've got a lot of Obama voters who didn't vote for Trump, but if he does the right things, in 2020, the Democrats are going to have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time if Donald Trump gets it done. They're going to have a hard time because a lot of people who were not being put to work under Obama are going to be put to work under Trump. All right? Let's go. Let's keep it moving. Let's see here. going back to the biggest gainer list. Nova Lifestyle. You guys remember Nova Lifestyle? This was a call that I made some money on way back when this stock was like 78 cents a share. Man, I guess I should have hung in there, right? I should have hung in there. I got to it like $1.30 and got the fuck out of there. But the stock got up to a high of almost $5, $5.15 on the 52-week high. Pretty much hit a ceiling and didn't recover since then. Looks like the stock has bottomed out. Got back to 60 cents on the day today for a 27% gain. Posting a huge profit, by the way, last week. Let me see here. Actually, no, that was a loss. Excuse me. I thought it was okay, so they did post a Q3 profit. All right. Now earnings, after all the day was down, but they did. Actually, hold on here. I don't want to open up and lose the chart, but they did post a Q3 profit. But it looks like they still lost out after it was all said and done. Let me see here. NVFY. Nova Lifestyle. What I loved about this was that it's a small furniture company. Well, they were small back when the market, it had like a $11 million market cap just, 3 months ago or so. Let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, they post a profit of 1 cent per share. 1 cent per share. All right, 1 cent per share. All right, 1 cent per share. But this is a company that got beat up quite a while, man. Quite a while. It was beat up down in the dirts early in the summer. But I really loved it. I never thought it would run up this aggressively, or I wouldn't be here. But sure enough, Nova Lifestyle Furniture, nice day today. I'm not expecting it to hold that. I think the excitement is kind of gone. But to see them announced about a month ago, when they announced that they were going to be able to go online, that's huge news. That's really, really huge news for that. That's really huge news. NVFY, 60 cents a share on that. All right. Who's this playing in my chat room in here, man? All right. All right. So, yeah, got that guy on a little break. See, I don't know what he's doing in there. J Nug, what's going on, Bill Betts? Bill Betts, you playing options now? You playing options now, Bill Betts? He was talking about J Nug, the gold play. Again, J Nug up 12 cents today. Shout out to the people who playing that options. I see a lot of people leaving comments here on TradingView. J Nug, all right. From Positive Divergence. A lot of people saying go long right now on gold. I wouldn't go long here. I don't know what people are saying go long on gold at 11. I don't fight trends. I don't believe in fighting trends. I believe if the trend is going down, this stock is going down. If you get a confirmation of support and it could bounce from that, then great. But I don't see a confirmation in any kind of support for the price of gold right now, if every single week we're talking about a lower price. So I'll be watching, though. I'll be watching. Andrew Ford said an online course. Cedric Williams, yeah, if somebody can post up the Travi, I don't know, I think he's watching the Discord room. There's some people in there intraday. Yeah, everybody's trying to preach gold and whatnot, but we'll see. What's going on, Bad Scientists? IMNP. Let's take a look at IMNP. 14% today. Obviously, I showed you guys that chart. You guys saw that chart. You might say, oh, well, what's that chart you just saw? Okay, this was the 90-day chart. So obviously, 90 days have been really, really ugly to the stock. Last 90 days. But again, we just got done talking about finding that bottom. And as I look at the 5-day chart, if we look at the 5-day chart, now again, this is the last 5 days. So, I can't say, this is a real support level for the price, because real support level at 16 because obviously that sell-off toward the end of the day concerned me. But 14% gain is a gain. But I'd love to see what this does tomorrow. I'd love to see what this does tomorrow, man. Bad scientist. What do you like about it? I would put your VWAP on there. I'm not sure how to use it the way you do. Appreciate Travi for the Discord room. That's the Discord room. If you guys want to chat with us any day, every day, the Discord room is the place to be. All right, before the show, after the show. But look, I'll give it to you, man. You know, good day's a good day. So IMNP, there it is, man. Give you the yodel for that. I'd love to see what that happens tomorrow. I'm not sure what could do tomorrow. All right, not sure what that's going to do tomorrow. Let's see here. I'm looking at a couple more of the biggest gainer lists before we put our list together for the end of the day and the end of the show. Very promising day tomorrow to look forward to, man. I got a couple stocks here that ran real hard today. I'm going to be really looking forward to tomorrow. The Trump administration did also announce that tomorrow's going to be a lot of big announcements. I expect Mitt Romney to get the job tomorrow. Mitt Romney's going to get the job tomorrow. I told you at the beginning of the show, guys with money stick together, regardless of politics. When it comes to this money, nothing gets friends to work like friends better than making money together. And Mitt Romney and Donald Trump will put all beefs aside when it comes to that paper. You see what I'm saying? All right, HNR, the natural gas play. HNR is another winner. HNR is, if you can't afford CHK, well, they're almost the same price. I think CHK is at the 6s, which, by the way, again, is oversold. It's oversold. If it hits the low 6s, I mean, if we hit like 606 tomorrow, all right, because I do believe the sell-off is going to occur tomorrow. Jim Cramer did shit on the stock today on the show. But HNR is another one to look at. This is a true penny stock right here. $48 million market cap, much smaller than CHK. Much smaller than CHK. Below earnings, right? Price to earnings, just slightly below 1. Actually negative right now. Might be losing money, but small company. 9% gain today on the stock. Again, this is another company that's natural gas hanging in real nicely today. All right, and natural gas is up pretty huge. It's up almost 30%, about a month and a half. So natural gas still putting up green, man. Still putting up green on natural gas. All right, still putting up green on natural gas. Yeah, GSS, NAK as well. Let me see NAK. NAK. We talked about resources last week. I liked oil and gas, but oil and gas didn't hold. I don't know, man. I don't know about NAK anymore. I think 70 cents could be back in play here not too soon, especially if we continue to see lower, commodity prices, man. Demand Stokes. I honestly will see. GSS, Gold Star Resources, 80 cents a share. Again, this is another one too that I don't know. I'm not a big believer just yet. I'm just a believer just yet. So we'll see on that one. I like NAK above GSS, although GSS looks like the value play. NAK is a lot better company for me. I think last time I looked at the books, NAK was actually doing pretty well. Still losing money, but doing a lot better than GSS. All right, so if I had to choose, I prefer NAK over GSS. All right. You said the struck isn't strolling through. Thank you for letting me know that. Let me find out what's going on here. One moment. Appreciate you for letting me know. Let me figure out what's going on here with that. Fix my chat room real quick. Okay, let's see here. Figuring out what's going on with that. Boom. All right. I think it should fix it now. There we go. There we go. We should be up and running now. Let me test this out real quick. Good. Okay, good. Great. All right, so appreciate that for letting me know about it. Yeah, if you guys see an error or something, let me know. I'll take a little moment to fix that. All right, so let me see here. Nice pullback. She'll bounce to DGAZ, penny hat. DGAZ. DGBAZ. Okay, another ETF, natural gas fund. $5 a share. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. I'm with you on that one. Penny hat. I like that. play. I think a bounce back would happen on that one. This for whatever reason, unless the people who trading this know something we don't know. This is definitely due for a bounce back here. If I look at the 5-day chart too, I'm trying to figure out why that's a pretty ugly 5 days. And I'm not sure why they would act that way when I look at natural gas prices. Unless, okay, it's, well, oh, well, okay. It's an inverse. If I think of inverse ETFs correctly, inverse ETFs, when the underlying commodity is going up, inverse ETFs go down. So this is actually doing the right thing. Am I right when I say that? And when we talk about inverse ETFs, right? If the commodity is doing well, then the inverse ETF goes down. Okay. All right. I thought so. All right. I thought so. So yeah, I would buy a call here. So you said it should bounce up soon. I don't know. Hopefully, if natural gas keeps running, it'll keep going lower. You might touch the fours based on what I'm seeing here. You might touch the fours here. Last week, you were almost $2 higher. So this actually might be a nice way to put. A nice put might be working in your favor here. Yes, TVIX. Yeah, I do see that. Appreciate that, Jeep man. ONCI ran up high. What's ONCI is doing? ONCI, that's another one of our favorites from way back when. OTC stock 0020, 33% on the price today. The thing I like about ONCI is that it puts up really good volume. So when it does move, it really does move aggressively. This is the 1-day chart. It looks a lot better than a lot of stocks at this price. ONCI, but I don't know. I just feel like there are some other better plays on there. I haven't seen a really good 00 something stock in a while. If somebody can give me a really good 000 stock OTC play that we could really look into, we could really get behind, I would pump the shit out of that here. But I haven't seen one, that's got really great technology, great website, great share structure, not just has a lot of convertible debt out there, but just it's just cheap or forgotten about, or what I'm saying? It's at the beginning of something, but I just haven't been able to see that. For a while, we thought it was going to be PSID. But after that dump last week, in fact, where's that dump at? After that dump, about 10 days ago, from 0084 to, damn near 50% off the price, just, evaporated. Who wants to believe in that? Although PSID at these prices is not too bad. Interesting enough, but I don't know when it's going to run like that again. But if you want to get into PSID now, I like PSID over ONCI. All right. If you want to play the 00s, Bill Betts, I think you would agree with me that PSID right now at this price it's probably a better bet. All right, it's probably a better bet. Probably a better bet. PFWI, Petron Worldwide. Now, this is a furniture company. In fact, it was under promo today, and I forgot who was promoting this. So I'm thinking now, I feel like I should have had a Sunday show. PFWI, I forgot the promo on that one. Let me see. I got an email for this. PFWI, let me see here. PFWI, who promoted this one? PFWI. Let me see here, spam folder. PFWI. Yeah, it was PennyPix. All right, pennypix.net. Pennypix.net. They sent out an email this morning at 9:06 a.m. Pennypix.net. PFWI is one stock, shop for profits. Don't wait. All right, PFW News, blah, 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 big announcement. We think this is going to go to the moon, blah, 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 blah. You guys know how how promotional letters look like. So PFWI was promoted this morning by pennypix.net. Pennypix.net with the promo on PFWI. All right, on PFWI. Pennypix.net. All right. $17 strike. Let me see. ANF. What's your strike price? 17 with a March expiration. You're long. You got 2 puts. Oh, so you're already deep in the money then? You got puts or calls on ANF, Jeep man? Okay. $17. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so okay. So yeah, your puts. Okay, I got what you're saying. I get what you're saying now. I'm thinking you're a call at 17. I'm like, geez. Okay, so you got to put at 17. So if you got to put at 17, you're obviously expecting a huge turn in the situation here in Abercrombie and Finch. Now I got to ask you, Jeep man, what makes you think it's going to get above 17 again? I'm just curious. What do you think about or continue to drop below 17 or continue to go lower? I might be confused on your strategy here, but why do you feel the stock will continue to go down? Because you're in the money real nice now. Yeah, I get what you're doing. Why do you feel the stock will continue to go lower? Horrible earnings? Okay. All right. Abercrombie and Fitch? Yeah. I mean, look, let's be honest. Abercrombie and Fitch, the company's not really cool anymore. You know what I'm saying? Let's even for those of you guys who are, in your early 30s, late 20s, I'm sure we got some people in here who still in high school. A lot of people really rocking, Abercrombie and Fitch like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really rocking the ANF like that, And I think, this generation of young people, they've kind of moved on, man. They've kind of moved on. And Abercrombie and Fitch is not Tommy Hilfiger. They're not Polo. They don't have that, brand factor that can test the day of time. I just don't think they have that. They're not Lacoste. They're not, if I'm saying that right. Some people say Lacoste. I just think that they're not on that level yet. So I think they're expendable. Okay. Think they're expendable. No, we actually have Connor. Connor's coming out with a channel. He's going to explain options. He gave me a little bit of a taste this weekend of his video. It's going to be really good. I think you guys are going to be really excited about Connor's video when he comes out with his channel on options. All right, I'm not the one to be explaining options. I'm prefer stocks. I'm still learning options myself. All right. Yeah. When it comes to Abercrombie and Fitch, that's actually a great call, Jeep man, on a put on Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm just not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. Let me see here. Angie's List. I'm still watching Angie's List. The thing is being real naughty, man. Angie's List is pissing me off a little bit, but Angie's List just will not fucking die, man. This will not fucking die. It's pissing me the fuck off because it's a shitty company. I'm waiting for that day that, when it just loses like $1 a share and everybody knows it's game over. It still hasn't happened yet. But Angie's List, I'm looking for another opportunity to jump in there. Was short for a long time in Angie's List. Made some good money from the high 9s, but I'd love to see Angie's List really drop hard. We've talked about why Angie's List is a shitty company. $8 a share. Nobody's going to pay for reviews anymore. I think the business is ancient, doesn't make sense anymore, but we haven't allowed the market hasn't figured it out yet. All right, the market hasn't, but competition is killing them, and I think we're going to wait until the next earnings report to prove that. All right. Well, he's making his channel now, but he's already made the video, and he's somewhat of a perfectionist, so he's putting it all together. He's putting it all together. All right, so real quick, we'll put a list together of some stocks that I think we're going to run tomorrow. Let me see here. MUX was one of our really good plays this summer, but MUX has seemed to dry out. But MUX did, good day today on MUX. This used to be a really hot stock, man. This used to be a really hot stock earlier in the summer. In fact, if you look at that, you look at the summer, man, this was a hot stock in the summer, MUX, but things just kind of calmed down. This is a situation where you don't find too many companies like this when the CEO is actually the founder of the company. So this is kind of one of those situations. I mean, this is, kind of those Rockefeller type plays where the big man is also the man whose name is on the company. So really interesting play here. I'm still not a believer just yet. But, we'll see. We'll continue watching MUX. But good penny play in the past. It could do some things. I'm just not a believer just yet. All right, so put together a real quick list for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to see another 100% days. Warriors game. Yeah, we've got some Warriors coming up. Got some good basketball coming on in just a minute. Yes, indeed. Good basketball coming on in just a minute. HADV. And, of course, you guys can always check out the HADV, lost 50% today. That's why, man, I was never, these corporate updates, man. These corporate updates. We talked about this last week, man. The stock's going up on corporate updates. I'm not a big fan of these because I don't believe it's a strong enough catalyst. I don't believe it's a strong enough catalyst. But it ran for a couple of days. It ran for what it did. But it had to give it back eventually. Mike Jobs is being funny. Mike Jobs is being funny over there with Free F. You're hilarious, man. Free F, man. What can you say about that? That's all that is. NVCN is too erratic for me, man. If that's what you want to play it, but it's way too erratic for me. So let's put some stocks that I know are going to be hot. That hot based on today's movement. I think that are going to run tomorrow. based on what I think some of you guys feel and would agree with me as well. Let me put this list together right here. Again, I do like PZRX. I'm a big fan of PZRX. FDA approval. Yes, it is an orphan drug approval, so it's not necessarily a full-out drug approval. But and the catalyst, which is the drug, isn't necessarily a major disease or whatnot. But I still think this is something the market's going to like. For a company this small, and I think it's going to move the stock again tomorrow. You're not going to see 100 and whatever % they put up today. No, you're not going to see that, but I think you'll still see some green. And if you are in the stock, I think you're good to go to make some more on it tomorrow. SYRX, I'm not sure on this one. I mean, this is a company, SYRX, number 2 on the biggest gainer list today. I don't know how far. Mergers are a big deal, but they're 2 small companies. There's one publicly traded company that's already small, buying another small privately owned company, but has had in the past access to some government contracts. So we'll see. We'll see on that. PRZM, Prism, is a stock we've talked about here. Ran up, but didn't have a catalyst today, so I'm not sure what that was about. CAAS, the China Automotive Company, Chinese automotive company. Any Chinese company that's running, I've always got to pay attention to it because we've seen what these Chinese people. I don't know what they're doing with their company, but they can really make moves. I'll definitely check that out. Penny hat stocks. They can really make stocks move. So I'd never bet against the Chinese on any stock they do. That's why all these Chinese plays, the SPUs, the OPTTs of the world, I check them all out. I check them all out. All right. At least one day during the day, you got to check them out. You got to check them out. All right. Let me see here. A couple other plays that we know. IMNP. Yeah, we looked at IMNP. Nice play, but I'm not a big fan, man. Not a big fan. We need names for different penny stock shape. I'm not sure what you're meaning, Devin Miller. Do you mean for what the chart is doing? If you want, you mean the patterns? If you're looking at that, you have to go to thepatternSite.com. ThepatternSite.com. You can get all the patterns listed there, man. They're all there on thepatternSite.com. If you want to start memorizing patterns and whatnot. It's an old website, but it's written by Thomas Bukolsky, which is a really great writer. He's got awesome books on there, but he's got all the patterns out there, trading psychology, trading classes. If you really want to learn more, get deeper into the technicals, that is Mr. Technicals. He's got over 40 years of technical trading experience. I don't think anybody out there is better than him when it comes to understanding and the teaching of technical trading. ThePatternSite.com is a free site. He should be charging like $500 for you to even have access to this. But everything on there is free, and it's incredibly educational. And if you really love trading and you're really deep in your heart love it, you can spend hours there. It's like Wikipedia for traders. All right. It's like Wikipedia's for traders. Yeah, I'm not big on patterns in terms of OTC plays. All right, you really can't. I mean, you got to find out what else is going on. But when you're talking about NASDAQ, NYSE, even penny plays on those ends, I think the patterns matter. I think patterns do matter on those. All right, but OTC stocks, whatever your pattern it can be busted. If I release an email to the 7,000 people on my email list, your pattern that you studied all night is busted. All right, it's busted. So you can't bet on OTC stocks and patterns. You actually have to put up the chart and see what it's doing intraday. All right, find out is it being pumped? What's the social media, saying about it? That's why, going to places like Investors Hub or Investors Hangout and Twitter, having a Twitter account, having, what's that other website that's kind of like Twitter? I forgot that where James Bond hangs out and stuff. I forgot the name of that. It's very, 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 very important to know that. All right. Yes, indeed. Okay. So real quick here, I'm put that list together. Some stocks that you guys, SYRX. So you like that? All right, SYRX. It looks like we got somebody in the chat room who likes that. Mike Jobs. Let me look at him real quick. SVMLF. Silver Corps. Again, this is another silver play, but I'm not sure why silver's running, Mike. You tell me why silver's running. I mean, I'm looking at that the cost of the commodity. Stock Twits. Yes, that's it. 3 hooks. Thank you. Stock Twits and Bill Betts. Appreciate it. It is Stock Twits. You got to have an account there too. Watch what people are saying. Social media, not to get distracted. Social media and OTC stocks are like white on rice. If you really want to get behind a winning play, it's going to be whether or not it's being moved and people are talking about it on social media. All right, social media on OTC stocks, it's just they're just together. They just are. Silver Corp though, going back to Silver Corp Metals, I can't tell you why this is running, man. I'm looking at the cost of the commodity. Bill Betts, you said somebody's removing your messages. Let me see. There you go. Make you a moderator. You've been here long enough. All right. GX. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can help you find that out. Yeah, Bill Betts. I see your messages, man. Yeah, Michael B. They're going to the PDT rule. That's why now, I was a fan of you stock trade, but now, I mean, now you're the same as Robinhood, but now you're overseas. You're a liability to me, so I would go to Robinhood now. I would move my money to Robinhood now because there's really the reason to go to U stock trade was getting away from the PDT rule. Now without that, now you're a liability because you're in an overseas market, and that becomes an issue now. Yeah, okay, Sino. Okay, the shipping company, Sino. Yeah, that was the shipping company thing. It's the whole thing we've talked about here. You might want to watch that episode when we talked about shipping stocks exploding. Sino was one of those. Nick Flips said PDT rule doesn't apply to cash accounts. Yeah, but I mean, gosh, when you have PDT rule, no PDT rule cash accounts, but not having your funds settle, man, you miss out on a lot of opportunities if your funds don't settle. Having to wait that long for your funds to settle in a cash account, it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. I'd rather just pay the $9.99, all right, and get a margin account and deal with PDT. Just deal with it, all right, or go to Robinhood and put in, I think it's like $2,000, and they'll give you something like a margin account where you can't short over there, but you'll be able to get same day settlement, but you still have to deal with the PDT rule. All right. India is having a ban on importing gold. What the heck? Why would India do something that stupid? Why would India do something? What? Who the hell has a ban on importing gold? How dumb is that? Can you imagine that? Doesn't even make sense. All right, so let me go ahead and finish putting this list together here of stocks that I think we like. What did RXII do today? And, that's why we have unlimited potential opportunities, but very limited capital. That's the life of an investor. Unlimited opportunities, but limited capital. And the surest things that I've learned is jumping on things that are already running. And I don't like trying to take bets on what could be happening. I like easy. I like simple. If a stock's ran aggressively today, I'm hoping it will run aggressively tomorrow. Let's see, SS, we're all there. HTBX, I like that as well. And again, we've gotten to the point where, as we said before, we're picking winners, man. We're picking winners every day over here. Every day over here, we can list. I mean, just name a show. Go back to episode 4, 5, 6. I mean, you go back to our list and biggest gainer list, our list that we end the night with. At least 1, 2, or 3 4 or 5 of some of those plays will get you at least 10% intraday. All right, intraday. And I know we don't teach trading here per se. We'll give you more than enough videos to help you out. There are more than enough people in the chat room who are willing to help you out. Let me see here. I have a feeling a Q is going to run tomorrow. I have a feeling a Q is going to run tomorrow. BBEPQ. I have a feeling a Q is going to run tomorrow, but I can't tell which one it could be. I can't tell which one it could be. BBEPQ or line Q. I just have a feeling one of the Qs is going to run real hard tomorrow. All right, I might be talking out of my ass, but we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right. Appreciate that, QL. All right, the market's having trouble, so temporarily canceled importing gold on India. Okay. All right. Well, if they're doing on that, then you know, who am I to say that's wrong? If that's the catalyst, then if that's why they did it, when they're canceling big denominations like that, that makes sense. That makes sense then. That makes sense. All right, and Indian people are incredibly intelligent people. I've worked with a couple Indians in the past. These people are incredibly intelligent. Incredibly intelligent. Let me see here. Because their schools are just way farther behind than what our schools are. I mean, what they learn at like 12 or 13, we study here at like 20, 21. You learn it in college. They're learning it in middle school and high school. All right. Let me see here. I'm just looking for some other good plays. I don't want to force it though. We talked about PSID, and PSID. I think it could do something tomorrow. PSID, because it's just at that price where it could move. Again, not big into guessing. I don't like guessing, but we'll see what happens there. But when I look at the biggest gainer list, I don't see too many stocks that will be there tomorrow. All right, don't see too many stocks that will be there tomorrow. So it's kind of hard to put it in together. Industrial Services of America, IDSA. Does anybody have any IDSA, any news or knowledge of them? Industrial Services of America. This is a stock that it's slow, but it's been consistent. It's slow, but it's been consistent. Here's the 1 month chart in IDSA. So I'll watch it tomorrow because it was on there today, and I like how volume is slowly growing. This is a stock that couldn't put up 50,000 in volume, but today put up almost 1.2 million. And as you can see throughout the chart, if I could look at it, it's pretty consistent throughout the day buying in this. So I'm looking to see what's going on, how legit this play is. But at the end of the day, it's a $20 million company, but I love these companies, small mom and pop, not even mom and pop business, just small businesses getting behind these opportunities and seeing what they can do. All right, I think I'm missing some better plays here, but I'm just not sure to put these on there because I'm not sure if they're going to be on there today. We saw a lot of gold and silver run today, and I'm not understanding why. Based on where the commodity is running. All right. Yeah, look, you see, and that's the thing. I mean, XGTI, XXII, that's the world of penny stocks, man. 1 week they're up, next week they're down. But I can tell you one thing right now, when you look at the percentage gains over the period of time, when you look at these small caps and what the big cap stocks were doing, your opportunities were in the small caps, and there always will be. There always will be. Small caps is specifically about opportunity. When you want to talk about opportunities, you want to talk about large percentage moves, you got to be in small caps. Now, will there be a time where, I want to, be in the relative safety of something like a GE? There will be a time for that for me and for you. But that time is not now. That time is not now. All right. DRD gold mining, $4.46. Sinclair, you brought this up. Again, man, I don't know why this is up. When I look at, gold prices down 30% over the not 30%, excuse me, 9% over the last, 3 or 4 days. Why is this up? When commodity prices are going down, and this is a gold related business. Tree Hooks, he said your trading capital does allow you to day trade, pretty much a swing trader. There's nothing wrong with that, Three Hooks. There's nothing wrong with that. You said just need some more consistent gains. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I think if that's your situation, I would start looking at getting a little bit deeper into the hearsay and into the social media, man. Like, I don't know if you got a Twitter. I don't know if you got a Stock Twits. I don't know if you're on, Investors Hub, Investors Hangout. Really start getting into the trenches, man. Getting into the trenches, because I don't want you guys to just find picks here on the show, because sure, it's a great place to find it because you hear from so many different people. But the trenches within OTC markets, these forums, these chat rooms, places like Investors Hub, which is the ghetto, man. Investors Hub is the ghetto. You got a lot of shady ass motherfuckers over there, a lot of people with 5, 6, 7 accounts. But guess what? Those stocks run. You'll hear a stock on Investors Hub before you'll hear it here. Promoter emails, you know what I'm saying? Getting that dummy Gmail account and then signing up with all these promoters. All right. Getting your head to the ground. So you don't become a bag holder. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed, man. All right. So let me go ahead and put this list out. And let me see. What's I'm still a big fan of AMD. I still think AMD can hit 10, man. I'm still a big fan of AMD. AMD could hit 10. Let me see if this was green today. Okay. No, this did nothing today. ENRJ did nothing today. Groupon for the long run. Oh, speaking of Groupon, that actually sounds like a good Groupon. Actually does sound like a really good Christmas play. Groupon. My thing about Groupon is just, God, it's too small business for me, man. That's the only thing about Groupon, is that it's, it caters to small businesses, which is it's not a bad thing, but small businesses are they don't pay a lot. You know what I'm saying? They don't pay providers, the providers of their services, they don't pay a lot, and they're not as loyal to business. They're not as loyal. Like if somebody else offers a comparable price for a lower, comparable product, that's actually not an incomparable product, but for a significantly lower price, a small business will leave Groupon to a website nobody's ever heard of because they're dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem with Groupon when you're dealing with, small businesses. They don't have enough of the large companies doing business on Groupon. That's what I don't like about Groupon, and that's why the company is suffering the way it is. I mean, it's still got, $3 billion market cap, but it's way beneath what it used to be. Groupon a couple years ago. I mean, if I look at Groupon, not too long ago, 2012 area, we were looking at $20, $30. And look, maybe it's always been a penny stock and maybe it deserves to be a penny stock. But, when I look at, Groupon, and here's the 1 year chart of Groupon. It's kind of boring, my man. You know, it's just, you know, it's kind of boring. You know, kind of boring, but you know, you know, 12 cents today again, 3% down. You know, could possibly touch 5 again. Could possibly touch 5 again, but I think there's a lot more risk there. A lot more risk there. All right, a lot more risk there. Yeah, ONCI. Yeah, ONCI is an interesting play that I want to watch tomorrow, just because I know it's in a lot of forums and a lot of people are talking about it. But we'll see. We'll see. OMCI. AMD. Yeah, AMD looks like a set it forget it situation, but I don't like the way it's you know, it's in a funnel right now. That's kind of scary. Let me see. AMD. That little funnel that it's kind of in right here, where it was really nice because it broke out of it today specifically. Here's the 1 day chart in AMD, and it's holding that 871, you know, level there. And this is a price that I talked about last week for AMD, 871. It's got to stay above 871. If we touch that 871 again, it's going to break through, and now we're talking about bearish. All right, but 871, I believe, in my opinion, is the support for AMD right now. And so far, it's above that and doing well. So let's go $9 AMD. All right, we'll see. It did break up below that 200-day moving average toward the end of the day, but that could have just been a situation where people taking their profits on a solid intraday move. The day's range was 898, so it got up there today. It opened up at 872, so got up to almost 20. Damn, that's almost 26 cents a share today. All right, a lot of volatility in AMD today. Not bad. We're looking for AMD to retest 9. I believe that. I believe that at all. I believe that. Going back to the cheaper pennies, though. Going back to the cheaper pennies. I'm still a fan of Kush bottles. I know the volume still isn't, for the most part, where I want it to be just yet, but I think Kush bottles could retest $9. I mean, excuse me, could retest $3. I'm thinking AMD still. I'm going to release a video calling my fraud of the month, because now it's getting to a point where it's absurd. It's getting to a point where it's absurd. I'm going to expose Axum Biotechnologies. I'm going to label this my stocks to short for the month. And typically, when I label my stocks to short, the stocks typically crash within about 30 days after I make the video. The stocks tend to crash. So my stock to short videos are pretty dangerous. So you know, I'm going to label the stocks to short on Axum. This company has a $300 market cap right now, $330 million market cap to be exact, and they made $6,500 the first 3 months of 2016. Can you believe that? $330 million market cap, and they made $6,500 the first 3 months of this year. It's. I mean, you want to talk about fraud on an unprecedented level. And again, the SEC ain't gonna do shit. A lot of people think, you know, oh, these people will go to jail, blah blah blah. There's a way to do this shit where you don't go to jail. You just make it look legit and you advertise. You make it look legit and you advertise. And when I say not make it look legit, like you just do legit shit and you just advertise. People get people excited. And the stocks will go up. And that's basically what they did. There's nothing wrong with advertising. Advertising is a First Amendment right. All right? So I got to expose Axum because I'm about to put a big-ass short on this one. AXIM. All right? So I'm kind of got a personal incentive on that one. AXIM. All right, guys. So let me put that in the chat room one more time. The list to look at tomorrow. And again, you can't invest in all these, but again, you know, in the morning, do your checks. All right, do your checks. I know some of you guys aren't day traders. Some of you guys are swing traders. You know, look at your swings. What are playing? You probably don't want to swing trade a penny, but some of these do run pretty good. MJNA, I should have put MJNA on there. MJNA is not bad, but Not a big mover today for me to say it could run huge tomorrow. Could run huge tomorrow. All right. Let me see here. As my silver chart low. I want to give away that. See, I did not bookmark that. I thought I would have bookmarked it by now. Let's see here. Real quick. All right, so for those individuals who don't have the DVDs, again, you can get all 8 DVDs of the Timothy Sykes collection, over 50 hours of penny stock trading information right here on that torrent. If you don't have it, just download uTorrent or BitTorrent. Then once you have completed downloading that, simply go ahead and click that link right there, thepiratebay.org, select Get This Torrent. All right, and you will be further ahead in your knowledge of penny stock trading. All right, you'll be much, much further ahead in your knowledge of penny stock trading by going to look at that video. All right, by looking at that video. For those people who are interested in shorting, or even shorting, or even just trading in general, day trading especially, if you want to learn how to read level 2 quotes, it's very powerful way of trying to figure out what the market is trying to tell you before it could sometimes happen in the price, by reading level 2s. Timothy Sykes has a video on that. It's called how to use level 2 quotes. All right, so you can go ahead and put that in there. That's the video on how to read level 2 quotes. You said, how does it compare to How to Make Millions? Well, these videos came before How to Make Millions. So How to Make Millions is pretty much a compilation to all of these. How to Make Millions is a great DVD. I really liked How to Make Millions. But I like these because on these videos, he really broke it down. All right. How to Make Millions is a little bit more advanced. If you already know about penny stocks, then How to Make Millions makes sense for you. But if you don't know anything at all how to make about penny stock trading, you want to get his earlier DVDs, the ones that I just put in the chat room, that are available to you completely free of charge. All right. Yeah, Bad Scientist. That's what I looked at. Airy. That's the airline repair company or something like that. Volume needs to show up there, and I'll be watching for that tomorrow. But I didn't want to put it on the list because I didn't want anybody to get trapped or shit like that. All right. Not a problem. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. I appreciate you guys for joining me, man. I never think that, I know today was a slow day. People came into the chat room a little later than usual. People still getting back into the swing of things. So I get it. But, snap back into it. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to business. Get back to these stocks. Get back to making some money. All right. Get back to making some money. And you guys keep learning. All the new people, old people, continue to join us here in the chat room. You guys know I love you, every single one of you who love this business, and it is a business when you think about it. Please call us one day if you're learning or just want to say something. 305-600-2896. I'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow. 305-600-2896 is the number. And again, really great show, guys. Appreciate everybody who called. I think it was just Mr. Lloyd today, which is all good, man. Sometimes it's just like that, Sometimes it's just like that. But appreciate you guys. All right. Who else we have in the in the night right now? The chat room. Astro Consciousness. Yes, Joel Flores. Good night, sir. Daniel Foray. Michael B. Tristan, Demond Stokes, Justin Matthews, Taylor Stewart, Pennyhead. Pennyhead, NECA. He talked about NECA. Appreciate that. You guys might want to take a look at that. Michael B. Sinclair. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Good night, Bill Betts. Mr. Dwayne Duvall. Appreciate that. Good night, man. Nikhil GX, man. Peace. Appreciate that, Sinclair. Bat Scientist, thank you. Mr. Betham Seti, hopefully I'm pronouncing you right. Dino Mars, have a good night, man. Jerry Clemens, Max Trader. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, Max Trader. And again, join us in the Discord room. The Discord room is always the place to be before and after the show. If you guys want to keep talking stocks, many people will be in that Discord room all night. They will be in there all night, guys. They go hard in the Discord room. So there's always typically somebody's going to be in that room or maybe in a room adjacent to it. But some of the guys are going to be up. Appreciate that, Jorge. Good night, sir. 3 hooks. Thank you so much. Join me back here tomorrow, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. More Penny Stock Talk coming tomorrow. Same time, same place. Deuces, everybody. Take care.